Okay, hello everyone and welcome. I'm really excited for our call tonight. So this is an more interactive call. So hopefully you've got your notebook ready to go, and then this is recorded so you can share this with your friends as well. But yeah, rewatch this and do the activities here as well. Okay, guys, it'll really help you. So this has been on my mind for a while, and I feel like, hey, it's about time we talk about this. So this is something that I teach with the Energy Balance and with Faith course, but now this is kind of like digging in deeper and just finding one topic, which is about joy, and then expanding it and exploring it together. Okay, so stick with me to the end, and I'll do a drawing and give away an oil to a lucky person. All right, so let's get started. So, we're going to talk about why we should have more joy. We're going to talk about what is joy, what holds us back from joy, and what brings you joy. Okay. So the last thing here is about raising our tolerance for joy. What does that look like? What does that mean? Okay. And hopefully you'll be able to feel that rise by the end of this call. Okay. So let's ask the question, why we should have more joy. So you can write that answer down in our chat there, or you can just answer it to yourself, because sometimes we don't intentionally choose to have joy just because it just didn't occur to us, to have more joy. We're like, oh, I don't want this drama, don't want stress, don't want, but we haven't really chosen to have joy, intentionally chosen. Okay. So just kind of maybe write down a couple of things for yourself there and have a think about it. All right. So for us, joy helps us, because we are divine beings designed for joy. And that's why we need to have joy. Okay. We are divine beings designed for joy. All right. That's going to be our natural state. It helps create stronger relationship. When you're joyful, you have better relationships. Okay, instead of focusing on fixing people, we want to focus on, creating joy, and then you'll have better relationships. Okay, creating more joy in your life, in your heart, helps you be wealthier as well. Okay, because that's our natural state, all right, of abundance. Creating more joy in your heart can help you be happier and more peaceful in your heart. Okay, a happier, peaceful heart. Okay, we'll be healthier, our body will be healthier. Okay, it'll release the toxins, it'll let go of the fungus, bacteria, parasites, and all of the bad things. It'll filter the body better. Okay, and that's why we want to have more joy. Okay, and then of course when we have more joy, we feel more peace in our world. Okay? In your environment, you just feel more peace. And that's why we should have joy. So sometimes people don't choose to have joy because they don't see the value. They think maybe if I have more joy, then I get more disappointments, and then more discouragements, more heartaches, because I let myself get happy, and so these bad things happen. Okay, so that's why sometimes people don't allow themselves to have joy, and they sit in their sorrows, they sit in their grief, as if it's a badge of honor, as if it's their identity. All right, so we look at this, we say, well, this is what we should want. Okay, any comments there? Right, so what holds us back from joy? Okay, so what holds us back is our fears. Our fears hold us back from creating greater joy because it's darkness. We are comfortable in that dark space, right? And when darkness is there, it's not a faith. So sometimes we think it's faith, but it's not faith. Okay, having false beliefs, okay, because of the programming that we have within us, keeps us down. All right, and then what we need to do is find the fears and false beliefs, and I'll help you find some today, so that you can have the power to intentionally reprogram it. So if you have friends, or if you yourself, say, hey, the struggle is real, it's painful, it's this, and we sing this song over and over and over again, maybe we're singing because we haven't intentionally chosen joy, right? because I was a big martyr, once upon a time. I know exactly what this looks like. All right. So if you look at this picture of this tree, this is what I teach in the Energy Balancing with Faith course, right? We feel the feels, but we don't recognize that under the surface, what created the feelings, okay, in the subconscious is our thoughts and our beliefs. So what we want to do is recognize what the thoughts and beliefs are that created the feelings so that we can change it intentionally with our agency, with our power to choose, and then we can take the actions and then have a happy result, okay? If the results of your life is not ideal, don't be mad at the results, okay? Use that as a clue and go into the subconscious and change the beliefs, okay? So tonight or today for the Aussies, that's what we're gonna do, okay? All right, so here we are. If you have a look at this triangle, it's the level of consciousness, all right? And so when we have the fear emotions, all right, we're down on the bottom and we experience sickness and disease. So those negative emotions, we just need to recognize that they're negative and that they cause negative feelings and diseases. So what people normally do is they try to get out of there and they have more good emotions and they have a happier, more productive life, and they have good health. And they think that's all there is. And people haven't chosen a higher level of joy because they don't know that there's another higher level of joy. They think this is how life is, okay? But there's this higher level of joy. So can we make a decision to adopt a greater degree of joy now? Your life might be sweet, but it can get sweeter, okay? Sometimes we're just afraid that things will get worse and we don't just, allow ourselves to level up. Ask yourself the question, do you believe that you can level up? Yeah? So feel free to chat in the chat, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much, Celia. Right. So yes. So here we are. When we have more understandings, when we have more self-awareness, we have peak performance without stress. So ask yourself, what does peak performance without stress look like? Hang on, don't I have to force myself and push myself, and whip myself into shape, so that I can do stuff? Otherwise I'll get lazy and not do stuff. What do you mean, like peak performance without stress? What does it look like to you? So write your answers down, okay? And then you can continue writing the answers to it later on as well. But what does it mean to you? Okay, it means ease and flow. Good, Teresa. All right. So for me, I'm like, you get excited, you get pulled by joy, you get pulled by love, you get inspired, and you do stuff energetically without stressing, right? You don't have to, push yourself. You can be pulled by that wonderful energy. And you see on top there, peace is the highest, because joy and gratitude and love, it creates peace in our hearts, and peace is that unity. All right, so that's what we're designed for. We're designed for that unity and that peace. When we get there, we have something called synchronicity and extraordinary outcomes. Okay, so what does synchronicity and extraordinary outcome mean to you? And so ask yourself that question. What do you think, guys? What does synchronicity and extraordinary outcome mean to you?
What that means.
I can share unless somebody else wants
to. Debbie?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, it's sometimes like when I'm thinking about something or I've thought about something for a while and then it happens, like the good things, or like I feel like my time is stretched for me. I feel like things just kind of move just in a sweet way, and it's so it's very apparent to me. Like I'm very awake to that, to seeing how things just kind of flow in and work like magic, really.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I love that, Debbie. I love that you said that magic or miracles, right? My kids
Yeah.
just told me recently, they're like, Mom, we just was told, like they went to a kind of kids retreat, right? And they were saying that the Bible stories, it's not just stories, history. And the kids are like, bing, 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 like, oh my gosh, of course, yes. And they came home and they're like, so imagine being there when Moses parted the Red Sea. I mean, that's peak performance, and that's more than peak performance, it's synchronicity and extraordinary outcome, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, Sierra, go ahead.
If you have goals, whether it be in your family or your job, your career, or personal goals, and you're constantly striving to get there, but you feel like you're swimming in a really strong current that is constantly pushing you backwards, I would think that would be the opposite
Yes.
of what we're looking for. And when that synchronicity and the ease of flow that oh gosh, I don't know who it was that mentioned it, they said ease and flow on the chat, and those extraordinary outcomes happen when you finally, I don't know, it's like allowing yourself to follow Heavenly Father's plan, which is so much easier than our plan.
Right.
And then things just start falling in place, and it's so much easier than we make it out to be. And that's kind of what I found this week, this past week, with me having like zero energy and whatnot and recovering. I literally had things happen that I didn't even really try very hard for, but it just kind of, it made sense, it synchronized, it all like came together, and things happen.
Right.
So I think that's, to me, that's what it means, is when you allow yourself to follow the spirit and allow the right path to happen.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's kind of like what Cheryl said, surrendering to God's plan, and it's just, you know, allowing him to jump in. So, you know, when you're down, you know, and sick or whatever, you're forced to kind of like, okay, you know, we'll let you do your thing. And then he's like, look, done. And you're like, oh, I didn't even lift a finger, you know, so thank you. Yeah. Learning with your sisters is synchronicity. That's a beautiful example. Sometimes we say something and then we finish each other's sentences and like, yes, there. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. Yay. Okay, so that's synchronicity. So
Hey,
focus on that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to share something really quick. I just felt inspired to share. So earlier this year, when I had, you know, the COVID thing and the COVID shingles type thing, I remember just kind of surrendering to that experience. And I was able to recognize that, you know, I could have been stressed out and worried about all the things that needed to be done, but somehow it's like there was so much that happened that I didn't even have to worry about it. It was like I could just surrender to the experience. And that to me is kind of an example of like the synchronicity. And then the extraordinary outcome is I got through it and nothing fell apart.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, so we should remember that more. Remember that, okay, I just need to want this, and need to kind of connect to divine, and then I just do my part only, and then let heaven and earth do its job. So.
Jade, can I add one more thing? This is not necessarily about goals, but we're talking about joy. And to me, like a joyful heart is a heart at ease. It's not a worried heart or fearful heart. So one of the things I noticed this past week, so I started showing symptoms on a week ago today. And I, you know, tested positive, but I told my parents that we would not be able to join them. I had 15 other family members in Panama City that we were supposed to all get together and kind of have a family reunion. And we couldn't go, you know, because some of them have some issues that they can't be exposed to, you know, and danger of getting sick. So we couldn't go. But when I told my dad about us testing positive for COVID, you know, my husband and I were very positive. We're like, we're okay. It's fine. We're running a tiny little temperature one day, not even a full day, ran a tiny little temperature. And we started our oils right away. And I wasn't fearful at all. I'm like, I know what to do. Like, I know the protocol. I know what to do. I know how to take care of us. I wasn't really scared. To hear my dad on the other end of the line, it was completely a different, he had a very fearful heart. He was scared for us. I was like, Dad, we're totally okay. And this is, you know, I kind of brushed it off. I'm like, this isn't even the serious COVID. You know, this is the fourth generation COVID or whatever it is, you know, now I'm just like, we're going to have less than a cold. And that's exactly, we had less than a cold. It was so small and so insignificant for us, especially with the oils. So he kept calling every day and, you know, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is the temperature higher? You know, have you talked to the doctors? And I mean, he was so fearful. And I'm like, Dad, we're doing really good. We're doing really, really good. And I'm probably going to see you next week. So, so I think a joyful joy itself also makes your heart just at ease. It's a heart that isn't fearful or full of worry.
Yep,
So.
that's the opposite, right? It's the fear is underneath on the bottom there, and joy is on the top.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I say something, Sierra? That's exactly how I feel. I have everyone ringing me because I mean, I've been in intensive twice for pneumonia. So when I hear I have COVID, it's like everyone is so worried. Right. And I go like, no, but I got this. I got this because I'm not in that space. I'm not in that energy, and I know what to do. I got every tool in the world to help myself, and I don't let my past experience and to dictate my future. This has nothing to do with right now. That was in the past, and that has nothing. That doesn't have to repeat itself. Unless I make it repeat, you make those things happening again and surface again, and I don't because it doesn't have to be. And the oils are so powerful; they can handle everything.
Yep, that's so good. Yep. Just like Teresa said, joy is faith and ease and gratitude. And you know, if you know anything about Sandra, she was as sick can be, right? And, you know, now she's like, whatever, you know, and it's like, it's totally different because we have raised the vibration to this level of joy, right? And when you have joy and you have peace, you know, you can handle things and things change. So
yes, exactly. Yeah. And also because I probably somewhere let my vibration go. That's why I have it, because just because I'm in holidays doesn't mean I have to get it. So I took that as an indication, and I'm working on that and then clearing that, and I'm grateful for that. Plus I got an extra spare week to do whatever I want to do. Yes. I there's lots of positives out of this.
Exactly. I have the same perspective. I created an opportunity for me to be sick, right? Because I wasn't, you know, being diligent, you know, resting and, you know, elevating myself somehow, and, you know, it dropped, and so it was an opportunity for the bugs to jump in, right? And that's all. And you change it around and say, well, here's a good side of this. I get to rest and do some other things and catch up.
And I think I have to prove my physical body that I can clear this no matter where I am in the world.
Beautiful. Like, show me my own faith. I can do this. Beautiful. Love it. So guys, answer this question yourself. What is joy? So kind of write that question down and then answer it in your own time some more. But, you know, if we kind of explore this more, we're going to have this more. If we focus on this, we're going to get it. Okay, so that's why I'm like, this is a whole call on joy. So joy is about fulfilling my life's purpose, right? I feel joy when I'm fulfilling my life's purpose. So write it down and then ask yourself questions like, what is my life's purpose? Am I living my life's purpose? Okay, and that will help you create more joy in your life. Joy is about connection to others. You can connect to your spouse, you can connect to your soul sisters, you connect to the people that you're serving, connection. Okay, so that's what joy is, right? We are these social animals, right? We need to connect to other humans. We need to have a union, okay, of heart. So, you know, it's okay to want this and create it. That brings joy. Joy is creating with your personal power. Okay, whether you're cooking, doing arts, whether it's work, whatever it is that you're creating, create with your personal power, not be passive about it. Okay, and in the process of creating, you create joy also. Okay, when you focus on your life's purpose, you're not going to get distracted and bored and create drama. Okay, the joy is creating peace in your mind and heart, and we'll talk about peace in a minute, how we can create that peace. Okay, joy is connecting to and controlling your physical body. That's why in our community we talk about, you know, mind, body, spirit. Okay, we use the oils and supplements and all that for all these areas of life. Okay, so when you have more energy, when your physical body is functioning better, when you've given it a better instruction, okay, it creates more joy for you. All right, and when you feel this safety in the world, when you're feeling safe, that creates joy. Right, you can expand on each of these things, and you should, right, in your journaling time, and that will help your mind, your subconscious, focus on creating more joy. And when you're focusing on creating joy, you get that synchronicity. You can say, oh, I want this, please make this happen, right? Or I don't know how that's going to happen, but I feel confident. Okay, so I guess example. Okay, so I just need to mute some of you guys. So an example is, you know, my husband and I, we had this 5-year plan, and then, you know, when we first got married, and we got most of that, and even better, right? And then we had another 5-year plan, and one of those things on our list was go to Jerusalem, right? And we're like, don't know how, don't know when and why, but we just feel like, you know, that would be a good thing to do. And then it happened. Like my husband worked in Jordan, and then we kind of like Googled and found out, hey, it's only 2 hours bus ride from, you know, Jerusalem. And we're like, let's do that. And then it happened, and it dawned on us like, hey, that's synchronicity. Like, wow, we just kind of put it out there, and then it happened. So we need to choose to focus on that. Okay. So now, guys, let's talk more about peace, because peace and joy actually goes hand in hand. All right. So I'm going to invite you to write these things down and explore that a little bit more later on. But make peace with your humanity. Muscle test, if you know how to muscle test, do you feel peace with being human? Like, you're going to make mistakes, you're not perfect, but I'm at peace with me. I'm human and I'm totally okay. I'm not going to be critical of me, and I don't care to be critical of others. Just, that's okay. And I'm not worried about other people criticizing me, because I quit criticizing me already. Okay, make peace with your humanity. Just know that you're just practicing and, you know, trying to become more divine. I just made a video on this one, so you can go to YouTube and watch it too. Make peace with your body. I was talking to my daughter the last couple of days about this. We were working out, and she's like, I like my boobs, you know, and I'm like, okay. She's like, I used to hate it because it wasn't the right size, and she's like, I'm just gonna like it. And my body, you know, whatever the exercise is, it's gonna be enough. Because sometimes when you're done with exercise, you're like, yeah, I could have done better. My workout could have been, you know, more hardcore. No, this is how it is today, and my efforts are consecrated for good. My body knows how to be healthy. Okay, my body heals quickly. You know, I don't need to take days and days and weeks and years to heal. Okay, that's what making peace with your body looks like. All right, I just like the shape and the size and color I am today. That's making peace with your body. All right, that will bring more joy. All right, your body is doing the best it can with the instructions you give it, which is the conditioning and the programming. So if we program that, you know, bad things happen to me, well, your body's going to filter out all the good, all the bad, right? So you're going to, as you heal, you're going to program yourself much better. Okay, make peace with your mind. So are you one of those people that say, I'm not smart enough? You know, I can't think clearly. I can't speak well. If you are, then make peace with yourself and say, look, I am a child of God. I have light and divinity within me. So, you know, whatever internal conflicts I find, I can resolve it. And whatever conditioning and traditions I'm carrying, I will find it and I will change it. Okay? I'm just as smart as anybody else. And if I don't know stuff, Heavenly Father will tell me stuff. Okay? So muscle test that. Make peace with your mind. Okay. Make peace with your life. You know, sometimes people carry the traumas and dramas that they had as a, you know, a badge of honor or whatever. No, make peace. All those things needed to happen. You know, me not being the good mom I was, or, you know, or my parents weren't as great, or my life wasn't as great. I suffered this and I suffered that. Hey, make peace with it. Okay? Because those are lessons in love. And then I'm just going to embrace it and learn from it. Thank Heavenly Father for it and stop extending that pain. Okay, the pain was way back then. It doesn't need to filter and get into the days that we're living here today. Okay. Make peace with people. You know, people are people. People are humans. They'll make mistakes, right? But I am so grateful for the people in my life because they help refine me. They help me know who I am, you know, by the challenges that we experience together. You know, when we feel like people push our buttons, well, say thank you for, you know, finding the buttons, right? And, you know, feedback, yay. I never knew I had a false belief about that. Thanks for pointing it out. Okay, make peace. What do you guys think about this?
Can I share something about the making peace with people?
Yep.
So recently, this past week, my husband and I had a discussion about me and my personality and saying that I was an unforgiving type person. And I'm like, wait, what? How am I unforgiving? Oh my gosh, I think I'm one of the most forgiving people. So so we had a long discussion about first we had a mini argument, then we had a long discussion. But it was because in my past, I mean, it took me many years to get to this point to where I could make peace with the people in my life who severely hurt me. Just for a short example, I got married at 18 to a highly abusive person. I was only with for 6 months, but it felt like a lifetime. And it was, I mean, it literally took me until just these past couple years to be able to say, I'm glad I had that experience in my life so that I can help others that go through an experience like this, so I can be a stronger person, so I can warn my children about what to look for in people. I mean, for so many different reasons, I am glad that I had that experience with that person in my life. Mm-hmm. It took me till now to be able to say that. Mm-hmm. And so it's really interesting. My husband made a judgment that I was an unforgiving person. He goes, well, can you say that you forgive, you know, that person in your life? And I was like, actually, I can say that I'm thankful for that person being in my life and the lessons that I learned because of it, mm-hmm. which is saying even more than I forgive that person. And so I realized that my husband needs to get to know the new me.
Yep.
There are things about me that have severely changed in my personality because he knew he was married to a person that could not always find forgiveness for certain people in her life. Yep. And he accepted that. And that was okay. And he loved me for who I was, no matter what.
Yep.
But I'm not that same person anymore. And here I am like, what, you know, kind of almost offended, like I am so forgiving, mm-hmm. but he doesn't really know the new me yet. And those changes and differences that have happened in my heart, you know? So just be aware of that and know that those kind of major things happen. And it's kind of amazing for him to get to see a new side of me.
That's right. And I like what you said, you know, he needs to get to know the new you. And also that incident, if you had any feelings of like, then that is a button that you say, ooh, you know, so have I truly chosen to love the new me, you know, and like, oh, okay. And for me, I was just thinking about how in the past I felt like I couldn't speak up. I was telling my kids how, you know, I used to buy stuff and like, you know, tell my husband, it's not that much, don't worry about it, you know, because I didn't want him to kind of find out and be upset. And then I'm like, it wasn't him that was difficult. It was me that is expecting drama, right? And so I had to own that. And so it's like, make peace, because the past situations, you played a role in it too. Okay, so make peace, right? So we can go on, but I think this is, you know, go ahead, Cheryl.
I was just going to say something a little bit about making peace with your mind.
Yes.
So I guess what I want to say is I am very impatient with myself. And so making peace, I think, involves a lot of learning patience. And so making peace with my mind, because what you said about, you know, not thinking that you're smart enough, or those kind of thoughts that have gone through my head. Mine is not feeling like I'm very good at communicating. And so I've just had to really sit back and look at how far I've come, you know, from where I was, you know, a few years back into where I am now, and remind myself that making peace with my mind is making, and myself in general, is making peace with the progress and moving at this progress that is I want to say comfortable, because that's my energy type. I always am drawn towards comfortable, but that doesn't put me in a frustration mode. So yeah, so that's, I think, I really believe that that's part of making peace with yourself too, is recognizing where, you know, how your progress is, how fast or slow that is.
Oh, I love that. I love that you reminded us of that too. So think about things that kind of annoy you or take away your pains, right? I mean, take away your joy in your life. All right, those are your pains, right? So think about those pains and then think about making peace with it. If you say, oh, like I have this project and oh, this corner of my house is just annoying, right? Make peace with it. Just be grateful for it, and you know, be grateful for, you know, the opportunity to be better. So, you know, if you say, you know, I would like my kitchen to be, you know, this way and this way, you don't need to hate the kitchen that you have currently. You know, you're just grateful, and then you say, well, here's how I can get it, you know, to be better. That's it. And I love that Cheryl reminded us of, be grateful for that progress. So guys, you know, I'm just touching this topic on the surface. You can go dig deeper and deeper for yourself, but this is how we can start creating joy, okay, by making peace. And one thing that we can do is find the false beliefs that hold us back from making peace. So check in with your heart. If you have a smidgen of discomfort or whatever, fears, you say, pause. All right, let's identify that. Whoa, what is that? Okay, and then change it. Okay, so sometimes we have a false belief or fear about physical and emotional pain or hard work and discomfort. You know, what if I, you know, I'm so uncomfortable I break, right? Find out and then resolve that. We fear the unknown. Sometimes people think things are going to get worse. We fear being lonely and rejected. We fear being embarrassed and vulnerable and shamed. Okay, we fear failure. We fear being unimportant or unworthy. We fear success as well. We fear outshining, and we fear our own greatness. Okay, so on Saturday, Cheryl and Diana helped me find that fear of my own greatness. Okay, so these self-imposed limitations, these self-imposed fears and beliefs are just limitations for us, right? So we need to recognize that that's all they are. They're just made up, right? And then we just need to resolve it. So we might think, oh, my heart and body can't handle pains. That's a false belief. I'm unsafe in the unknown. That's why I'm scared of the unknown. Well, how do you know you're unsafe? What if you're safer? Okay. I'm unloved and not cared for, and I'm just scared that if I do this and this and this, people won't like me, they will reject me. And, you know, then I don't feel loved, right? I don't belong, I don't fit in, I'm not accepted. You fear that you're fundamentally flawed, and that you're irredeemable. You messed up and now, you know, you're never gonna make it again. You fear that you're insignificant and therefore you're not good enough to be loved. And those are some very common false beliefs. And, you know, if I succeed or become different, people will hate me or hurt me. Okay, so that's some of my false beliefs as well. And once you identify it, you can talk yourself out of it so that you can go to a place of joy. If you don't identify it, then you will still hold on to that same energy. Okay, so these are just examples. If you want to rewatch this and then, you know, muscle test each one and see which one you have, then, you know, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. And the last one here is I don't have time, money, or I don't know how. Lots of limitations, because money and time and all of these things can be created. Okay, and God can help us with that. Okay, so here's an activity for you to do. Okay, because sometimes we hold on to the fears and we won't let that go, and we try to resolve it. But, you know, here's another way of resolving it. So you can say, here are the things that I'm connected to, I'm attached to, and I can't just let it go. All right, so just draw it out with these circles and bubbles. All right, the kids, I'm attached to the kids. If the kids are good, then I'll be happy. If my marriage is happy, then I'm happy. If my husband's not happy, I'm not happy. If I have a good job, or and it's just little things and big things that stress you out. So cut yourself out of it, because you're putting conditions on your happiness. Okay, you're having conditional love. Okay, so when you cut yourself out, right, you liberate yourself and liberate others. Okay, and then put all of that on the altar, right, and tell God about it and leave it there on the altar. And God will tell you what to think about, or what to worry about, or what to care about at the right time. Okay, you don't need to carry all that all at once. Okay, that robs you of your joy. Okay, so believe that you can be happy now, and trust that with God, I trust God with everything. Okay, so let's just put them all on the altar. Just feel that lightness. Okay, let go. Even the kiddos. Okay, God's got them. And then He will tell you what to do with your children. He will tell you what to do with your job. He will tell you what to do with your marriage. But if you hold on to it, thinking that you should fix it in the way you think it should be fixed, you won't have a greater degree of joy. Okay, you're relying on your own understanding. So just write it down, cut it out, you know, and then just remove you physically on that piece of paper, remove you from that. And then just look at what it is that you're really attached to. And you're like, oh, really? Wow, I didn't realize all of these things. Okay. Sometimes I tell people, put it on the altar, like they can't see it. So write it down. Okay, physically write it down. And then I actually have a list of things that I just, you know, find a high shelf and I put it on there, and I'm like, okay, this is me physically handing it over to Him. And right now I just need to focus on what He wants me to focus on, and that's it. And you can be happy now. Okay, so try that activity, guys. All right, let's just think about a few things that you guys can do, you know, that is actionable. Okay. Life is not a competition or about what you accumulate or how much you achieve. Okay, it's about what you become. Sometimes our stress is like, we want more. And why do we want more? Ask yourself that question, because sometimes you want more so that you can be loved more, you can feel more important. Okay, then that's the wrong reason. Okay, sometimes when you have the right reason, when everything's on the altar and you're there to become better, you see the situation for what it is, and then you actually can achieve more with God and accumulate more with God. All right, but now for the right reasons. And I really like this. Albert Einstein, the most important decision we make is whether we live in a friendly or hostile environment or universe. So do you truly believe that everything's rigged for your good? Your life, the people around you, it's for your own benefit, so you can create more joy and peace? Or do you feel like everyone's out to get you? Okay. Once you make the decision, you can see how the world changes. And even amongst, turmoil, there's a peace that you can feel, and then there's safety as well. Do you believe that? Okay. So ask yourself that question. I truly believe that. Okay, so we're going to talk about having a high tolerance. I use that word tolerance because it's your capacity, how comfortable you are with that. Because sometimes we have a little smidgen of joy and we're like freaking out, oh no. And then we sabotage and cause things to happen. And then we go back to that discomfort again. Okay, so we'll talk about the things that help us have joy. And then one of the most powerful things that people learn in the energy balancing with faith is the 6 fundamental human needs. Okay, so if you get all your human needs met by God, I promise you that you experience more joy and peace, okay, than you've ever felt. Okay, if you hold humans responsible for these needs, then you'll continue to have a lower tolerance for joy. All right, so the first need is love. And we need love. And if we get it from God, we'll feel like, that divine love never ends. We need to feel important. If you're important to God already, you don't need to be special or needed by other people. Sometimes people need to be special, and so they separate themselves because they want to be this unique, special person. But then they're like, but nobody loves me, nobody's here with me. But I insist on being different, right? And then that's the conflict. The need to be certain about something. In the world, I think very few things are certain, but the thing with God is, his promises are certain. So those are the things I anchor my need for certainty on, so that I don't need to rely on other things to help me feel that need, okay? And the uncertainty, I don't like the word, I like variety, okay? So the need for variety is adventure, is creativity. So if you are, living your life's purpose, and if you're constantly leveling up in your life's purpose, you're talking to new people, you're doing some new things in your zone, okay, then you're never going to get bored. You're never going to tolerate drama, okay? You're going to always be entertained, all right? The fifth need is growth. We need to constantly grow and, up level, right? And if you allow God to help you, you're constantly growing. So, some of you have been with our community for a little while, and you'll notice that, you heal and you feel great and you have some success, and then suddenly you have this, a little bit of a block. Think of it as an opportunity for growth. You're breaking through a new barrier, and then you raise yourself to a higher level of joy. Okay? You raise yourself to a higher level of joy. Don't think of it like, oh man, I fell backwards and, I'm not doing stuff, or, I've failed. It's like, hang on, here's a new level of growth. Think of it that way, okay? So Sandra Scott and I were talking about that too today. It's just a new level of growth. And the last thing here is a contribution. We need to contribute somehow as this, unit. Okay, we have this unity. We have this energy exchange, but the way you contribute is your own special way. All right, and if you know what your way is and you contribute in that way, you feel fulfilled. If you just contribute just haphazardly, you won't feel that fulfillment. Okay, so just be mindful of these things. Take a screenshot or whatever, and just try to feel these needs with God instead of with humans. Okay, otherwise it will never be enough. The humans will not be able to fill these voids. Okay, so what you want to do is write down, make a chart like this, write down the 6 needs, and then ask yourself, how are these needs filled? Do I feel loved? Do I feel important? Do I have this certainty and security, right? Do I have this variety? Do I create? Do I feel growth and contribution? So on the scale of 1 to 10, where am I? Okay, and what more do I need to do? Okay, and then how can I do this better? Because right now, like maybe a teenager or whatever would say, oh, I need the boys to love me, then I can feel loved. And then you can say, wait a minute, this is not, right to hold other people responsible for my love, right? My need for love. I'm going to go to God and feel that need. And so, I've been teaching my girls that, and, it's changed their life, and they're teenagers, and, they're so much more confident. All right. So, you just kind of do this activity with yourself and then do it with your family. And then just feel that power. So an example of contribution is, when you kind of talk to your family about, our family goal, what do you guys want to do? How do you guys want this family to be run better, right? And then if they contribute and if they have, teeth in the game, right, they will step up and own the family life. So my kids, they see the dishes that need to be done, and many times they'll like just do it. Sometimes I'm like, hey, somebody help here, and boom, done. There's not argument or anything, because they feel a part of this and they know how they can contribute. So have a talk to your family about this, okay, and watch, you'll have a greater degree of joy. Okay, even if they're little kids, if they know how to talk, that's good. My kids used to think that they cook, when they stand up on a stool and then like just mixing something, they're thinking they're cooking, they're feeling a sense of contribution. Okay, so, have a talk to your family about that. All right, so here's some oils to help you with those needs. So for those people who just need a stronger sense of self-love, and read about it in the emotion book as well, in the Using the Gift of the Earth book, okay, geranium, rose, magnolia, marjoram, and immortelle. Okay, when you need to feel more important and significant, right, it's a connection problem. Okay, so cedarwood, arbor vitae, and black spruce. Okay, this is a connection to God. Okay, so certainty, reliability. Okay, on guard, Siberian fir, manuka, and anka. Okay, for that need for variety, wild orange, ylang ylang, and juniper berry. For that need for growth, cypress, arise, rosemary, and sandalwood. And contribution, amavi, align, cardamom, and Roman chamomile. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of that. So guys, I do have a video on the 6 fundamental human needs. So if you feel like this is where you need to go next, you can go ahead and check it out, okay? But as you feel these needs up with God, right, you will feel that greater degree of joy, right? So that's why we were, given the commandment to love God and love others like we love ourselves, all right? Because the divine love is sufficient. All right, so have a look at the screen here. Sometimes people think I've healed and I, doing good, but really they're still living in that old home, okay? So what we want to do is move our emotional home. So what it is what emotions do you carry around most of the time? That will tell you where you live, okay, where you really live. All right, so, Just be honest with yourself. Okay, so here is the emotional home. So people over here with the small old hut, right? If you have this need to be different, stand out, if you overcomplicate life and you're just inflexible, you're worried and stressful, controlling and manipulative, victim, passive mentality, okay, needy and attached, complaining and blaming, people pleasing, being sick and ill, insecure, right? Codependent, drama, stagnant, feeling scarcity, feeling inward thinking, need to be needed, okay, distrusting in the process, distrusting people, conflict in relationships, okay, separation and division, just, they are they and I'm me and those people and us, that's separation, right? So if you're feeling any of these feelings often, guess what? You're still living in your old home. And one indication is you're feeling tired. You're just tired. Okay. So when you move to your new home, you're a new, different person, kind of like what Sierra said, this is a new me. Get to know this person, right? This person is confident and capable. We're confident in God's confidence. We're proactive and we're creative. All right. We simplify life. Okay. We don't have to complicate anything. We have strong people connections. We're happy and healthy. Most of the time we're healthy, okay? We have strong families. When you see your family connections strengthening, then you're moving into this new house, this mansion, okay? You're more collaborative and united. That means you work together as a team, a group, right? You're more positive, you have a divine connection. Like you just feel this download just constantly, okay? You have a strong identity. You know who you are. Or you don't need people to tell you who you are, right? You're a great receiver. You have this abundant mentality. Things will work out. I have plenty of time, plenty of money. Things will come. You're interdependent. So you work together collaboratively, right? You're outward thinking. You have growth and change and progression always. You're flexible and adventurous. You're excitedly engaged in your life mission, all right? If you're that person and you're often there, then chances are you've moved to your new house, all right? You didn't bring old furniture into your new house. Everything's brand new here, okay? So ask yourself, have I fully moved into my new place? If you haven't, intentionally choose today and then pick up these traits of this new person. Because in general, if you're falling back into these old habits, you're still living in that old home. Okay, what do you guys think?
I like the new house.
I like the new house, right?
You just confirmed to me that I'm doing the right thing. We sold our old couches and we're buying a new couch, and it's more than we would ever imagine spending, but we're like so excited for it. And it's the only one that Steve and I both absolutely love. So.
Perfect, Debbie. And that's
new house, new furniture. Yeah.
New house, new furniture. Don't bring some old stuff. And it's okay because later on you look back and you're like, why was I stressed? Why? You didn't have to stress. Yeah. It just happened, and it happened, and we were able to get it somehow. Well, okay, good. So I know Ashley moved to a new place, bigger and nicer, right? It's something physically we do that too, right? But emotionally, if we fall back to that old self, then we're like, I don't know why I'm trying to go back to this old person. No, I live here now. Okay, new place. All right, guys. So
I like how Jamie said, and I don't know if you saw it in the comments, she said, I think sometimes we visit the old house at times.
Yes.
I think, I love that you separated it like that, side by side, because you can really look at the things that you've already let go of and you've moved on, and you can see in the list, oh, well, maybe there's that one that I'm still like holding on to, that I need to release and adopt, this side. But yeah, sometimes when I understand what Jamie's saying, because sometimes when I feel like I've got this, I'm walking down the right path and I'm doing the right things and everything, and then all of a sudden, like, I visit that insecurity again. you know, and like, or something just triggers that little bit of insecurity in you or something like that. So I understand what Jamie's saying, and yeah, that it's a growing process.
And
constantly.
it's okay. And it's okay, because sometimes you're like, I miss this. And you're like, oh, just kidding. No, it doesn't feel good. Right. And I know for sure now. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie, yeah, it's so sad. We do that. We all do that. But we visit the old house less and less. All right. So just know that. Sometimes we just say, this is what I don't want, and this is what I wish I have, but we don't live in the present and like live in the receiving energy. Okay. So give yourself permission to dream it. Write it down, guys, and receive it now and be present. So maybe today or tomorrow, you know, allow yourself to kind of expand on your dreams. So here we are. There's 7 steps. You write it down. What is it that you do want? You know, socially, intellectually, spiritually, physically, financially. Okay, so write it down. All right. So socially, I want to have good friends that are like this. That means you have to let go of the old house, the old kind of friends, right? Socially, I want this relationship with my husband, this relationship with my kids, this relationship with my parents. Write it down and live into it, move into it. And then look, when you move in, guess what happens? There's an adjustment period. You have to get used to it, right? But you get there, okay? So just think of it that way. Intellectually, spiritually, physically, financially, just write it down what you want, okay? So say it out loud, speak the affirmations into existence. So I like to, you know, have this weight. I am this weight, okay? I like to fit into this dress. Well, I'm gonna fit into it. I am fitting into it. I'm excited, right? So in the morning and at night, visualize it daily. Feel like you've already received it and give thanks for it. So lemon myrtle is your oil if you want to use to help you receive it, okay? So feel it, guys. So at night, that's how I try to fall asleep. My brain kind of visualize those things that I want, okay? Open your heart to receiving it. Feel as if you have it already, okay? If you feel like it's still far away, then you still don't have it, okay? So I'm feeling like, you know, some of the things I have wanted for a while, it's here already. So I know that it's just around the corner, and that's synchronicity, okay? So share it with others. So that's spearmint oil, like gather your thoughts, organize your thoughts, and share it with your friends. So on Saturday, I got to share it with, you know, my friends, you know, what I want, what my dreams are, you know, and it was just, it felt so real, you know, having said that. And then of course, re-clarify to yourself regularly, okay, and journal it. Okay, so use sandalwood when you journal, apply to your third eye, lift it up, and just write down, I am so excited that I'm this. I'm so excited that my life is like this and this and this. Okay, and I repeat it over and over again. Okay, but in a different way every time, just more detail. And then I tell my kids, and my kids tell me their dreams and stuff, and things that they said has already been happening. And what I said is happening as well. All right, so it can't hurt to do that, guys. Right, it actually creates it faster. Okay, so sometimes people are so afraid to share it or speak it, you know, because they're scared to be disappointed. That's okay. Keep moving forward, keep sharing it, be disappointed, and then start over again and feel the feels and resolve those feelings. Okay, so you want to slow down. Okay, instead of going fast, you want to slow down. Okay, each day be aware, be self-aware and present. With geranium, feel it in your heart, apply over your heart, and feel your feelings. So yes, I want those things, but slowing down, another word is being still. Okay, and saying, what do I need to do first? Got it. What do I have to do next? Got it. Okay, so some things that you think will take hours, it will take minutes. Okay, and you just create, and then you're done, and you can rest and you can play, right? So if you slow down, you manifest it more and be more intentional. Okay, it seems counterintuitive, but if you run too fast and too rushy, then you're doing it on your own. Okay, if you slow down, you allow the divine to partner with you, then you're doing it with God. Okay, and that will be more effective, and your influence will spread further. All right. The last one here is resolve negative emotions as you recognize it. So, like I said, if you feel those feelings, you can say, pause, what is this feeling? It's not peace, it's not joy. So I need to resolve this, okay? Just, recently I was telling my daughter something that, what was it? I can't remember now. But, it was just like real quick. And then she's like, oh, Mom, here's a negative belief. That's why. Yeah. So for me, I was like, oh, I have to work out hard. And then she's like, Mom, stop. You work out smart, even if it's like, a couple of minutes, that's sufficient. All right. Just recognize it really quickly and then resolve it. Okay. So what do you guys think about this? Be present, receive it. I was thinking about one of the teams in my doTERRA business, and I'm like, I'd love for this team to grow. And then today I got a text from a girl who says, hey, I've been thinking about doing this as a business. How can I start? And I'm like, she's on the exact team that I pointed out yesterday. So it wasn't a lot of work on my part, searching and hunting people down. It's sort of like, I would like that, and then just leave it to God. Right. And if he wants me to do something about it, he'll tell me, but he hasn't. So I just left it. And then here she is texting me, right? Synchronicity. Okay. What do you think about these things? Easy peasy? You can do it?
I think those are awesome, Jade. I feel like that's the whole co-create with God thing is like, to me, I used to think that was like super audacious to say co-create with God, but really co-creating with God is simply saying, like you said, declaring what you want. But if you're already synchronized, then it's going to be his will as well. And then as you do that thing and you create with him, that means that you're doing it his way, which is with love, which is the perfect way. And so, like you were saying just before, like how you're thinking to yourself, oh, I would love somebody on this team, but really you were already feeling the energy of that was flowing from you also to Heavenly Father. And so you were like, of course you were to think that as he was preparing you, and you were, working in synchronicity. I just think that it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. And I know Ashley, she is really good at this. You said you go through a lot of journals, right? Now, so like you've gone through journal after journal, right? And that's some of the things that the kids gift you is are new journals for the birthdays and holidays and stuff. Yeah. All right. So here's a quote: never apologize for having high standards. People who really want to be in your life will rise to meet them. So keep your dreams, right? And share it with your friends. The friends that are true will rise and be there with you. And I know that now, and I've learned that. Don't downgrade your dreams just to fit your reality. Upgrade your conviction to match your destiny. Okay? So don't play small. Don't reduce your dreams. Okay? Rise and dare to dream. And it's okay. Keep trying and trying, keep doing it and doing it. Right? But when we do it with joy, and when we do it with God, we get there faster and create so many miracles along the way. It's not about the achievements. It's not about the accumulation of those goals. Okay? It's about co-creating with God, becoming more like God along the way. All right. So here's a few other things to help you recognize what brings you joy. I had a lady that she was like, I didn't even know that thing made me joyful. And she's just like, and I did it. And it was just like, wow, it made me happy, so happy. So some people don't know what brings them joy. So let's discover it together. Okay. What do you love doing that energizes you? Right. What energizes you? You just like want to do it. If money and time and resources and health, etc., weren't an obstacle, what would you like doing with your days? So pretend that you've traveled everywhere you wanted to travel to. Pretend that you have tried all the foods and then had all the adventures And then now you get to do whatever it is. What else do you do with your life? You had all the freedoms. Okay? So find out your life's calling and do that with joy. You don't have to do it like painfully and exhaustingly. You do it with joy. Like for me, I love doing sessions with people, but I limit it to 2 a day. Okay? Because it's fun, but I don't want to overdo it. Okay? So balance it. So here's some lists that you can look through. You know, if you like moving your body, if you like creating with your hands, if you like singing and dancing and caring for people and animals and helping people heal, if you like doing art, comforting people, sports, allow yourself to do that. Okay, don't buy into the limitation where I gotta work and I gotta do all these things, and then I get to do the fun things. Okay, if you do the fun things and the things that make you joyful, guess what? You know, the other things that you think you have to do, you may not need to do that. Okay, so the example is the guy who is hired by Lego to make the Lego sculptures, sorry, I'm saying it wrong. He started doing that while he was in law school, right? Because it distressed him, it made him joyful. And when he was done with law school, what I read was Lego hired him for more than what he would have been paid as a lawyer to do more sculptures. And so he now has the largest, supply of Legos in the world, right? And it's just fun, lots of fun things, and he gets paid for it. So imagine being paid for stuff that you like to do. And that is God funding you to help you continue on your mission. Go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, so mine is not nearly as cool as the Lego lawyer, but so my son is, so he is like camping, my son Ben, and with my husband Jason. And so like kids all have areas that they clean, like the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, whatever. And so like the kitchen is by far the biggest job to do that week. Well, he is out of town on kitchen week, which is, I'm sure he's very happy about, but that leaves it to like either me or whoever else I can talk into doing it. And so last night I got home from work or not work, but just I got home and I was super tired and I was ready to go to bed, but the kitchen was a wreck and I was like feeling really kind of frustrated. And then I felt myself like get hungry, because that's how like, that's kind of a trigger for me, because I'm like, why am I hungry? I definitely had dinner. Why am I hungry? And so I realized it's because like a comfort thing, like I was going to put something in me to like comfort me so I can do this hard thing, which would be going back to living in the old house. And so I said, no, I shan't live in your old house or eat anything. So I like went to my room and I laid down on my bed. I was like, I'm tired. The kitchen will wait. Well, I got a phone call and like I had to get up. And when I walked out there, I promise you, it was the weirdest thing. The kitchen looked cleaner. I don't know how it happened, but the kitchen looked cleaner. So there was only like 4 or 5 things to put away. And I was like, huh, sweet. You know what I mean? Like maybe my kids just accidentally cleaned up by accident or something. But I walked out there and there was only like 4 things. And I was like, it's a miracle. You know what I mean? And like but it was like draining to me. I didn't want to do it. Like I was tired, and I would have, like old Ashley in the old house would have just sucked it up and eaten some garbagey and cleaned up a house and grumbled, or cleaned up a kitchen and grumbled. But new Ashley was like, it'll be there in the morning when I'm rested. And then whenever I came out, like it was literally like a miracle. I was like, okay, all right, I'm just going to put these 4 things away and be done here. And it's just really like, I realized to myself, like, sometimes like if we do just even put it in the Lord's hands, and surrender to it, because that was me not loving myself. That was going to be me pushing myself to do something that I didn't want to do, that honestly didn't really need to be done. It's okay if the kitchen is a mess, but because I just surrendered to what I needed, which was love, or like rest, which is loving myself, then I actually, just was allowed the Lord to do something, which was help me clean up the kitchen. And it seems simple, but it was actually like, I almost cried. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Heavenly Father. I really want to clean the kitchen.
I love this. So Ashley, there's a Vietnamese fairy tale that has kitchen fairies. So you could have like conjured up the kitchen fairies.
I want one. Where do they sell those on Amazon? I want one.
Yeah, I love it. But I love what you said. We don't have to create drama. So you could have come home and go, grumble, drama. Or we can say, no, I love me and let's go and rest. And that will be, okay. And that's the calm and that's the peace that you feel. And then things resolve anyways. So that's fantastic. Thank you for that example. So guys, you know the literal language of the body. If you don't know it, check into the Energy Balancing with Faith course. But when you check in with your body and the things that it's telling you these things to help you find joy. That's what it is, right? And so your body doesn't lie to you. So if this hurts or that hurts, you say, okay, what do I change so that I can have more joy? Right? Don't fight against it, right? Go with it, and then you'll find that your body heals and you will feel more joyful. Okay, it's just amazing. So for example, a lot of women have thyroid issues, right? Thyroid is the endocrine system issue. Endocrine system is about hearing the still small voice that gives you instructions, right? That tells you how to be joyful. And when you fight against that still small voice, right, you are going to have this imbalance of hormones and, start to have a spiral of different endocrine system issues like thyroid, like adrenal issues, okay? So be aware, because when you are in alignment with that, your physical body will heal, but then it gives you a feedback that you're choosing more joy. You're living in that new house more. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, a lot of sense. Yeah.
So the bottom line is the literal language of the body help you find more joy. Ashley, did you want to say something?
That's an old hand. The raised hand. Sorry.
Lower that. Okay. All right. So I got just this last slide. So I just wanted to share with you some new enlightened beliefs, because I was talking to some people about this, and they're like, well, I know what I don't want, but I need some ideas of what I do want, how to have more different beliefs. Okay, what do I think? How do I think? Okay, so here's some that you can muscle test and adopt. I'm important. I am loved unconditionally. I answer only to God. Okay, so when we're worried about other people and what they think of us, just pause, let it go. I just answer only to God. And the grace of God is sufficient, okay, to cover all the pains and the aches and the traumas and the dramas that happened to me and my family and friends. God's timing is perfect. I trust in the process. God's got it. I live in gratitude. Okay. Happiness and healing can happen quickly. I respond to life calmly and confidently. My trials can become my triumphs. My mess can be my message. To the depth of my sorrows can be the height of my joys. I carve a greater capacity for joy with every challenge. I have the power within me to make miracles. I can rest and relax. Okay, I am my best cheerleader. Okay. So what do you think about that, guys? Some new beliefs to adopt. Okay, just pick the one that stands out for you. Okay, and that will help you create more joy. All right, you can be joyful now, guys. Live your best life. And for those who don't have a doTERRA wholesale account to get the oils, we have some great deals. $35 for a membership, or the membership is waived this month if you buy 150. So go to the person that shared this video to you and with you, and just ask them how to do that. Okay, get the oils for a wholesale price. Okay, and there's a ton of benefits: free shipping, and free oils every month. Okay, So if you want to, book an appointment with me, and there's others on the directory. And we can talk feelings. If you have some negative programming that you have, that you feel like, hey, I heard that and I don't know how, I'm still stuck in my old house, you know, we can guide you along. Okay, so you can be happier and lighter and freer. Right, and so there's others around you that can give you a session as well. Okay. And then also, if you want to join our Energy Balancing with Faith course, you can start anytime. Right now, we're finishing up our last semester. So we're starting again in a few weeks, but you can just log in and start now if you like. All right, so it's a 7-week online course, and you get 10 weeks to do it. It's 2 or 3 hours a week, but it's flexible. Just do it in your own time. Okay, and look, you get $100 off if you go to retreats with us. Right, and we have weekly live Q&As. There's a special this time. You get free books, okay, and a free download of the workbook as well. So if you need extra pages, right, and then one of the biggest perks is that you're part of this Earth Angel community. Alrighty, so as a community, we help each other and continue to heal. All right, so the course is $375, so you can go to that website. Alrighty. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for being here and watching our videos. I'm going to stop the recording now. We can have more of a discussion.